and welcome to this month's lesson, Major Donors and the New Nonprofit. This month, we are learning what is a major donor, why we need major donors, and how to define them. So let's start off with the easy question, right? What is a major donor? Most people believe an individual, family, or organization giving more than $100,000 to a nonprofit organization is considered to be a major donor. Now, the reality is that each organization gets to decide the threshold for who is considered a major donor and who isn't. For new and small nonprofits, a donor who gives an accumulated $100 a year or in a single gift may be a major donor to the organization. They are important to nonprofit organizations because they help us raise money to fund our mission and services. And so there are many reasons why a nonprofit might need a major donor. So, for example, a nonprofit might need major donors to help fund its operations. Alternatively, a nonprofit might need major donors to help fund specific projects or initiatives. As a nonprofit organization, it's important to be aware of the benefits of major donor relationships. For example, major donors, no matter the donation amount, tend to be more loyal and engaged with your nonprofit than any other donors. They also tend to be more generous in their contributions. So why do we need major donors? All right, so let's understand major donors and the role that they play in nonprofits. So nonprofit organizations rely on major donors to help them achieve their goals. Now, these donors are often individuals or organizations who are willing to give a large amount of money to a particular cause. Now, while there are a variety of reasons why someone might donate to a nonprofit, the main reasons are to help others and to make a difference. So major donors provide financial support. That's one of the reasons why we need them. Major donors are important to nonprofits because they provide the financial support needed to keep the organization running. These donors are typically individuals or organizations who are able to give a significant amount of money. Major donors can help nonprofits raise money more efficiently too. Next, major donors have increased awareness and funding from others. So since major donors are often the first people to know about your organization and its mission, their support can lead to increased awareness and funding from others, which can help you expand your reach and achieve your goals faster. Next, major donors have increased community involvement. Major donors are often passionate about your cause and are interested in getting involved. Their involvement can help you build a strong community of supporters who are committed to your success. Next, major donors are passionate. Major donors understand the issues your cause faces, and this makes them passionate. They often have a deep understanding of the nonprofit sector and the issues that it faces. This understanding allows them to give money that is directed toward the organization's specific goals. Now, major donors are often passionate about the issues that your nonprofit is working on. This passion can lead these donors to give money that is not normally available to the nonprofit. And then major donors' passion increase impact. Major donors are often passionate about your cause and are willing to invest their time and money to make a difference. Their support can help you achieve your goals faster and with greater impact. So, who are the major donors for your nonprofit? The good news for new and small nonprofits is that major donors are defined by the nonprofit. So it's a good idea to establish a policy on the criteria your nonprofit will use to identify major donors. So your nonprofit may decide $100 is a major gift or $1,000, but it's up to your organization. And the sooner you define who that is, the quicker you can identify them and start concentrating on keeping them informed and up to date and involved in your nonprofit, not just giving money. All right, so there are two different methods that we can use to find your major donors. So the first method is when you have few or zero donors. This is also a method if you already have major donors, you could come back and start. This is very basic, so you might come back to this at some point. But if you have zero to very few major donors or donors in particular, this is what we're going to do. So your first step is to define your major donor. Decide on the amount of money given that will be considered a major gift right now. Now, this number can change later, and it probably will. So maybe it's a one-time gift of $100 is a major gift to you right now. Maybe it's $100 over the course of a year. Maybe it's $250 or $500 over the course of a year. Make sure you define both a one-time gift or a cumulative gift for a set period of time. But that's your first step. So define who that person is, who your major donor is. Next, you're going to identify the names of your organization's top 100 potential donor list. So we're making a list. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look for donors who have these three characteristics. And this is, these are three characteristics that Nancy Reeves talks about often for what she looks for in major donors. And we will have an opportunity to get to talk to her this month in expert Q&A. So watch out for that one. Okay, so three characteristics. Passionate. They have a passion for your cause. You will be able to figure this out if you talk to them. They're the people showing up often. They're your volunteers that are just seem to always be there. Those are characteristics of passionate people. So you want to find people who are passionate about your cause. Next, they need to have the means. So they have to have the capacity to give the amount of money you have set as a major gift. So if you have $100 as your major gift, you're not looking for someone who never can produce five. So that's what I'm talking about by means. They have to be able to give the amount that you've set. And last, philanthropic. They have to want to give to your nonprofit. Not everyone is a giver. That's just the fact of the matter. But some people truly are. And so we have to look for those people who actually want to give to nonprofits and to you. Next, we're still building that list. You are going to look at you and your board's personal and professional circles. So you're looking at your social circles. Who do you know that might be willing to give that $100 to your nonprofit? Who do you know that has that passion for your cause? Next is the civic organizations in your town. Who's involved in them? Who do you know? Who do you or your board know? You're going to look at religious organizations. So at church, who's able to give? Who would be passionate about your homelessness cause? You're going to look at corporate sponsors, your businesses in town. Who might they be that could give that kind of money? If you have already done corporate sponsorships, you're going to look at the people who have already done a corporate sponsorship with you in the past. They may be major donors at some point. Any former coworkers, or if you are still working, maybe you have some coworkers that might fit the 3 characteristics. And parents, if that's appropriate for your cause. I mean, not all causes are going to have a connection to parents, but some of you do. Next, identify who gives to other organizations with a similar mission. So, does your board know of any of these people? And like I said, we're looking at people who give to other organizations with similar missions. This is where you get to do a little bit of looking. Look at other organizations, look at their annual reports, look at their websites, look at their social media. You are looking for people that they tag. You are looking for names. A lot of organizations like to, especially in their annual reports or their newsletters, list donor names. This is where you're going to find those names. All right, once you have identified the names and you have some contact information for them, send a thank you note thanking them for their support of the cause. Do not ask for money. This is an introduction only. This is an introduction only. Say that again. So what you're doing is you're going to send them a thank you note and say, I noticed that you gave to XYZ organization on Facebook, and I just wanted to thank you for supporting homelessness in our area. The need is great, and it's so wonderful to see people with your passion. That's all you have to say, nothing more. Little note, stick it in the mail. It's an introduction. It puts your organization and you on their radar, just like now they are on your radar and they are on your list. And so you'll start then making different introduction or different interactions with them. Maybe you go and friend them on Facebook, and then you start interacting with them on Facebook. When you see them at events or out in the community, you acknowledge them. That's how we start the relationships. That's how we start keeping our name in on their mind. Now, the next set of people that you're putting on your list of 100, you're going to keep your eyes out for social media posts, newspaper articles, press releases, media stories that identify major donors. And now these are major donors for your organization. Just because they give $10,000 doesn't necessarily mean that they are right for your organization. They could be, but they may not be. You're being a little picky here, and it's okay, because we're going to really refine those major donors so that they're giving to your cause and they're giving more than you think they can. All right, so once you've identified those people in your social media posts, newspaper articles, and on, you're going to reach out to these people to say congratulations. If they get a promotion, you can reach out to them and say congratulations on that promotion, or thank you for being so passionate about this cause. You can seek their advice. You can say, I'm a nonprofit founder and I'm in this particular, my nonprofit serves homeless people. I see that you're involved with those causes a lot, and I really need some advice on this. People love that, and it's okay to do. You can invite them to a tour of your organization if that's appropriate. Some of you don't have physical locations to invite them to, and so that's okay. But the reason why you're doing that is just to have another interaction with them. So, maybe you have a fundraising event, maybe you have an open house, maybe you're doing something, some kind of experience, and you happen to say, you've been corresponding with them for a little bit, and you say, hey, my board has an event that they're putting on. It's just a small, intimate house event where we're inviting people, and I thought you might enjoy a good meal. Those kinds of things that will get them in. Okay, so after you have identified your 100 major donors, potential major donors, then you can start really figuring out ways to be in their atmosphere, to be in their environment, to be around them more often, so that you can get those little bits of time that start building. All right, so now we're to method 2. And when you have a database, this is when you use method 2. So here are your steps. Again, you're defining your major donor. Now, if your organization hasn't selected a threshold amount, consider taking these steps to identify your potential major donors. And this is from your database. You're going to generate a list of all your donors and all the donations they made to your organization last year. You're going to sort the list with the biggest gifts and the donors' names at the top. You're going to calculate the total fundraising dollars received last year, and then calculate 75% of your total. And then starting at the top, add up gifts until you hit that 75% number. So this is the number of this is the donation amounts that we're looking at. Then count the number of donors, not donations, who contributed to that 75%. So if you have a donor that gave more than once, then you're only counting that donor one time. All right, then if this number is too big, shorten the list to identify the number of individuals and key institutional donors you chose to manage as your major gift prospects and donors. All right, so what you're doing is you're just starting to shorten that list. You're going to make that list more manageable for you. You're going to identify anyone you'd like to include on the list based on their leadership, their gift potential, their lifetime giving, deferred gifts, etc. And then last, don't forget your board members. Whether yours is a working board or a fundraising board, adding them to this list will help you grow your fundraising capacity. Now, once you have that list, you're going to do this now. Step 2. You're going to segment your current donor list. And so the segments are cumulative giving, consistency in giving, and size of individual gifts. Then once you have those segmented, you now know your major donors for your nonprofit, and you can start really thinking of ways to get them more involved in your organization and to reach out and to really treat them like the VIPs they are. Okay, that's all for this lesson. Download the implementation guide and start finding your major donors today.